Can you guys imagine for a moment if Deontay said, anybody who fights me has to sign for 3 or 4 fights with Showtime and PBC? All of you would murder him for that.
What's up, best friend Hauser? You know
Deontay, we talked over the phone. We had a great conversation about Mr. 600 Days of being mandatory. Yeah. He messed it up, but then I got confused because it's UConn, he fell. VADA, he passed. Yeah. Is there any suspicions of your
I'm hearing that, VADA do the random tests anyway, so I'm hearing that they test was way, earlier before this UConn.
Well, I'm just going to go ahead and jump in right there. It's so funny that he's an advocate for, the Clean Boxing Initiative, and he's speaking on the test being prior to VADA, and then being clean for VADA. Doesn't even matter when VADA is the gold standard in the testing system that the WBC enforces, but you guys suspended Dillian Whyte for what? Oh, and one more thing, Mr. Wilder. I just played a video yesterday that if you didn't watch, you guys might need to see. Here you go.
With him due to his daughter. My daughter was born spina bifida, and his daughter have some type of, rare skin disease, and I know it takes a lot of money when you're dealing with special needs children, and, although he had the PD things going on, I still blessed him to come in because I wanted him to be able to support his daughter. This man had Anabol in his system. I don't care who tests him.
Oh, so you heard that, right? Let's assault Dillian Whyte with PEDs. Let's give, fight hype, and let's give all of these other news outlets, all of this other falsified energy, and all of these other fake-ass narratives because, your heart is so big, you want to take care of the sick and the disenfranchised that, you're willing to fight fighters with PEDs, right? But this is on the cusp of Maxim Dadashev, right? But considering you just had this BT Sports interview yesterday, you ain't really thinking that much about Maxim Dadashev. I just think this is about staying farther away from Dillian Whyte. 600 days and counting. Also, another thing. If UCAD found that Dillian Whyte was dirty and supposedly didn't report it to VADA, why the hell did they clear him to fight? That's not what I'm understanding. If UCAD is running this whole thing, why did they clear him to fight? Because UCAD is UK based, and as we already seen, the WBC joined forces with VADA to run their testing for that sanctioned event, since it was a WBC sanctioned event. And if y'all guys don't remember, here, I'll pull it up again. Oh yeah, so I would just have to say that, if Dillian Whyte never tested positive and they were testing him since April all the way up until after the fight, and UCAD comes back with this one small adverse finding, but you let him fight 3 hours before and you don't inform Oscar Rivas, I think that this problem is beyond Dillian Whyte. I truly believe that it has something to do with UCAD here. Something seems a little bit fishy. Deontay, shut up. Because you have absolutely no idea what you're talking about. You can't even get your words out properly, but I'll digress. Let's let him keep talking himself into a grave.
VADA testing, so, that really don't count. And then VADA wasn't the one that was involved in this. It was UCADA. So, at the end of the day, VADA really don't matter,
So, according to Deontay, it was UCADA. I don't even know what the hell UCADA is, and VADA truly doesn't even matter. VADA doesn't matter to a WBC sanctioned, interim heavyweight title bout, but hey, VADA has nothing to do with the WBC according to dumb Deontay, right? Here's the proof in the pudding right here. I will show you again, but I'm sure people will still find ways to refute this, but I'll digress. You know what? Fuck the rules. Fuck what the governing body say. Fuck who they enforce. Fuck who VADA is. I don't care who tests them. This man had Anabol in the system. And he a 2-time offender. This motherfucker's a clown. And what the hell was that little fucking head shake he did? Like... I'll digress.
When you come up with something in your system, it's in your system. How did it get there, for one? You know, and for two, he's a second-time offender, so we can't really trust him because this is his second time doing it. So, you know, you really got to take that with a grain of salt. You know, they want to shine some light on that Vada came clean. Yeah, of course, okay.
Although he you know, had the PD things going on, I still blessed him to come in because I wanted him to be able to support his daughter.
So, you know, at the end of the day, Vada really don't matter. You know, this man had Anibal in his system. I don't care who tests him. When you come up with something in your system, it's in your system. How did it get there, for one?
And, you know, although he you know, had the PD things going on, I still blessed him to come in because I wanted him to be able to support his daughter.
You know, and for two, he's a second-time offender, so we can't really trust him because this is his second time doing it. So
this clown should just shut the hell up because, I mean, Romain Stavern, Luis Ortiz, well, we could just stick at Luis Ortiz. I'm burning your ass up ever since why you so fired up after you did your horrible night of punditry work for the Chris Arreola, Adam Kalinowski fight. And by the way, that fight was fucking horrible. Adam Kalinowski is the new fucking babyface Butterbean. That nigga's overweight, but I'll continue. Yeah, while you were doing your punditry work, didn't Luis Ortiz motherfucking fail for steroids for more than once? So we can't trust him. But as you say, you know, you still blessing him, even under, you know, even under the beautiful sweet smell of PEDs. But I'll digress.
You know, you really got to take that with a grain of salt. You know, they want to shine some light.
You really got to take that with a grain of salt. What the hell is that?
Light on that Vada came clean. Yeah, of course. Okay, so what? What about how the Anibal got there? What about the other tests that were going? So nobody's buying that. I think they're stalling. You know, we need to come out with the truth.
What do you think about Eddie Hearn making an excuse for Dylan White and then throwing on
typical Eddie Hearn? You know what I mean? He'll criticize one fighter in Gerald Miller. You know, saying how disgusting that was and whatever. But when it's done to him on his side, it's like some hypocritical stuff.
Is it the promoter's responsibility to tell the fighter that the other?
Yeah, definitely. It's everybody's responsibility to tell the next fighter. Come on, man, we're risking our lives in there. Exactly. Come on, man. You know, you got two fighters. Sorry, we got two fighters that already lost their lives.
Absolutely.
You know, and for them to do that, you know, not to let Oscar know, Rivas to know that they found just a little bit smaller Anibal, but you know what Anibal does? You know, I didn't really understand what it was until, you know, all the facts came in and then you start doing research, and that's a hell of a drug to be taken, you know.
As always, if you guys want to watch the rest of the interview, you guys can go to Fight Hype. But this motherfucker, do you hear how he's talking about the substance? See, he's claiming that it's so bad. And then I tell you he was going to talk about, you know, Maxim Dadashev and everything contrary to all of that, but you're fighting Luis Ortiz under PEDs, so you can't even use these things, because this is the thing about man life. Now we live in the age of technology and things like that. If you really research something, you can pull it up at the drop of a dime, just like I do to just show you guys, you know, the proof is in. The proof is in the paperwork, man. All you got to do is just follow the paper trail and you'll get all of the answers that you're looking for. And what Deontay Wilder is saying right there, he's just a factless, he's just a very, I hate to say it, he is a very stupid individual. I have to say it. He is not intelligent at all. He doesn't have one good quality about him intellectually. I mean, and the fact that he's speaking of it like he knows about it. When he's speaking on Anibal, he acts like he really knows what D-ball truly is. He can't even pronounce it correctly. Then on top of that, he sits up there. Then he proceeds to go and say, oh, well, you know, I didn't even know anything about it until the fans and people came up to me and said something about it. And then, you know, you start doing research, et cetera, et cetera. So that just tells me you did absolutely no research, because you didn't even realize that you were walking your own sanctioning body drug testing program into the grave when you even began to speak on this interview. And the thing is, VADA is the gold standard for testing. Who knows what UCAD has going on, considering all of the things that we're hearing, because truthfully, the problem lies with them. So I'm going to say this one more time. Diana Ball is legal in the United Kingdom. It is legal in the United Kingdom. It is legal in the United Kingdom. Yes, the UKAD and the British Boxing Board of Control are two totally different entities. But UKAD is the one who performed the testing. UKAD is the one, and the British Boxing Board of Control are the ones who cleared Dillian Whyte to fight 3 hours before going in. UKAD is the one who found the adverse finding. VADA tested Dillian Whyte and Oscar Rivas around the clock from April all the way up until after the bout, July 21st of 2019. So anything doing with that, one thing we can say that we do know is Dillian Whyte wasn't on any steroids when he was in the ring with Oscar Rivas because of the article that VADA puts out, because they don't want to get in this legal bullshit. That lets you know that he was clear. Now, what UKAD brought to the table, if this was such a big deal, why would you let him fight and not inform another fighter? What this tells me at this point in time, while we're constantly regurgitating and going over this article time and time again, as redundant as it may seem, as there still needs more evidence to come out, as I feel as though, hey, we've already got 75% of the information that could carry the other 25% for us to even already wholeheartedly feel comfortable with the truth. Because what I'm saying is this, once again, if UKAD and the BBBFC permitted Dillian Whyte to fight and they did not tell Oscar Rivas, and you're the one who had the problem with the adverse finding, but VADA, who was the WBC's testing protocol for that sanctioning body, for that interim heavyweight event, and for that mandatory spot, if they said those fighters were clean and they went on the fight, how does Mauricio Sulaiman have the right to suspend mandatory position, to spend interim status, and so many other things? So it's just a whole bunch of crooked shit going on here. And regardless, Dillian Whyte's going to be vindicated. How could you not if you looked at it from the court of law standpoint? So while Deontay Wilder is blowing hot air, I just constantly, I'm just going to constantly just throw the facts in people's faces while they defend this guy, while it's supposedly your favorite heavyweight, why you guys like him. And then you guys don't even understand why people don't like this individual. It's not because they don't like the sledgehammer of a right hand. It's because they don't like all of the other things that are attached to him. And he doesn't even have the integrity needed to be a heavyweight champion. Well, that's all I got for you guys, man. As we always say before we close this joint out, it costs you nothing to pay a nigga no mind. LDBC, WBC, are you not fucking entertained? This is the boss. Respect.